Welcome back, dear friends, with me in front of the camera again, trying to look at the lens actually, because I noticed last time if I look over at the viewfinder it looks odd. Well, thank you to everyone for all the supportive comments about the last YouTube video where I'm talking about, and see if I can do this, there should be, I can't see what I'm looking at now, there we are, the ukulele. I think I've learned how to spell it as well. The ukulele playing machine, while I'm waiting for the bits I've ordered to arrive, because, as I said, I think I mentioned a couple of the comments, I thought, like you do, that Nema, well, not like you do, like I do, that Nema is a make of stepper motor. I was surprised, funnily enough, just how many different types of Nema stepper motor there were. Then someone kindly pointed out that Nema, or did I look it up, I can't remember, I think someone pointed it out, that Nema is actually a National Electrical Motor something or other standard. So it's like British standards, it's the equivalent. What an idiot. But I have ordered 4, and they're the ones I'm talking about are these, like the ones on the laser cutter. And ooh, Cantona, look, exciting things being cut out. I'll come onto that in a minute. There's another couple, well, 3 examples of the Nema stepper motors. One there that moves this backwards and forwards on the 3D printer, one at the bottom, and one at the back on a lead screw that lifts up and down. So, up to this point, I've always used the little stepper motor, so this is very exciting. Moving on, where's my finger gone, to one of these larger ones. A Nema motor. Ha ha! He'll cry, what a fool I've been. So what I thought I'd do is I noticed on my hanging shelf that I've almost run out of Nempnett Thrubwell kits. I've down to 3 of them. And as I said, whilst I'm waiting for all the bits to arrive for the ukulele player, I'm going to get on with making another 20 of the Nempnett Thrubwell kits. It is so enjoyable. For those of you not familiar with the Nempnett Thrubwell, it is a kitchen timer kit, a working one. It has a key. When you switch the key, you get a little flickering flame effect lamp there that tells you it's running. And then you can set the time by adjusting this knob, and you can see working gears, because I wanted to keep it like a proper Victorian invention, lovely polished wood. This, if I leave that alone, well, then counts down to 0, at which point you get a little air pump in there driving a working air horn. I do like realism, not cheating with electronic sounds. So if you want to control the volume, you can insert a handkerchief down inside it. Lovely, let's get on with it. As you can see here, I've started getting quite a lot of bits together. We have the little packages of screws and bearings and washers and things, and the joy about this is that before I built the last 20 kits I ordered enough for 40 and then thought, oh, let's just make 20 and keep the rest, and it's been an absolute joy, I tell you, to actually have surplus to requirements, the bits and pieces for this lot. I've got the engravings done and I'm so pleased because I just had enough of this graving in laminate. I had to cut dials out of leftover bits, offcuts and stuff. Brilliant. Very pleased to have used the resources so effectively and to have been able to get all 20 parts cut out. It's exciting. The metallic copper bits and pieces, lovely metallic copper. I even had an excess of these lovely little air pumps and tested them while it's so nice just sitting in front of watching a good film and bearing back loads and loads, well, 20 black and 20 red wires, tinning the ends, soldering them on, heat shrinking them. It's, you could suggest it's mindless work, but sometimes mindless repetitive things are good. There's the gears cut out, I'm waiting to spray them, and then of course I had all the plumbing parts that I needed. Absolute joy to count them out. I've checked that I've got enough of all of them. Rubber tubes, look, Munson rings to hold the horn and bits and pieces in place. So it's going very well, and I've just started to paint up the horns on my lovely horn jig. I love jigs. As you know, if you've watched this channel before, I absolutely love jigs. Just things that make a tedious, difficult, challenging job really easy and therefore enjoyable, if you will. So they're being painted up. What am I doing now? Even a bit of wood with 2 pins stuck in it is a really useful jig for measuring out bits of wire. And voila! You have another 20 pieces of green wire ready to solder onto these switches and other things. Every time I make another load of these kits, I think of something new and improved, which keeps it all exciting. This time, normally I use my little 15-watt soldering iron, which does take a little bit of time. When you've got sort of 20 or 40 ends of bits of wire to tin, it's a pain. Whereas this one, which is 25 watts, was doing some soldering last night, and it just speeds up the process. Fabulous! The only downside, of course, is that I really did need to get my table out, and what with the base of the Steampunk TARDIS sitting there, and the Is It Time for Tea machine, and the episodoscope, and lots of other bits, it's all now getting a little bit how it used to be before the new tidy regime came along, but needs must when the devil rides. Oh yeah, cutting out 2 sets of the wooden parts from 3mm laser ply. Laser ply is lovely because it's very consistent in structure. If you use normal 3mm ply or something on a laser cutter, you suddenly find bits of it are cut and bits of it aren't because there's no consistency, but it's lovely. So I've got another 18 of these to cut out, and you can see all the lovely wooden parts that come with the kit. Also little bottles of, that's right, that was the other thing I'd done. I'd filled the bottles of stain and filled those beeswax polish, actually, very good quality, and the little pots of glue and a tube of super glue and plastic gloves. I want the electronic kits. That was nice. That was the first bit I decided to make. It is so enjoyable putting all these little bits together and sorting them out. OCD possibly, anyway. A very short video this time, but thanks so much for watching. I hope to be in touch soon once I've actually started building, working on the ukulele player, because I'll tell you what, I even ordered, where are we? I've even ordered a Newton gauge meter thing so I can work out how much pressure is required to push the strings down. Interesting stuff. Thanks again, and hope to see you next time.